Hello everyone. Today I'm going to do a few examples to show you how to do some trigonometry, or how to do some area problems that involve a lot of trigonometry. The first one we're going to look at involves an equilateral triangle where they give me the radius, and the radius of my triangle is 18. The problem is my area formula calls for perimeter and the apothem. I don't have either of them, so I need to do some math to find them. Now, I know in a regular triangle that each angle has 60 degrees. Therefore, this line right here must have a 30-degree angle there and a 60-degree angle there. Now, 18 is the radius of my triangle. So if we remember our ratios, we have n across from 30, 2n is my hypotenuse, and n square root 3 is the side across from 60 degrees. Now, 18 equals 2n, so n must be 9. Well, if you look here, if n is 9, that's my apothem. Now let's look at the side lengths. Here, half of the side ends up being 9 square root of 3. Therefore, a whole side must be twice that, 18 square root of 3. Now my perimeter is going to equal 18 square root of 3 times 3, which will get me 54 square root of 3. So we now know P is 54 root 3. Now I'm ready to plug in to my equation. So area is going to equal perimeter, 54 square root of 3, times the apothem, 9, divided by 2. I'm going to reduce this wherever I can. I see that the 2 and the 54 can cancel, which gets me 27 square root of 3 times 9, which will then equal 243 square root of 3 is my final answer. The next question, we have a hexagon. Now I know from my angle sum formula, if you remember, n minus 2 times 180 over n. If I have a six-sided figure, each angle ends up being 120 degrees. Now, I need to figure out this side length here, so that I can find the perimeter of this object, and I'm going to do that by using the special right triangle that's formed by drawing a line from the center to the vertex. I draw on the radius. So if that's 120, half of my angle is 60 degrees. We have another 30, 60, 90 triangle. So if you look, the side across from the 60-degree side is my n root 3 side. So 4 square root of 3 equals n square root of 3. Therefore, n must be 4. So the side across from the 30 is my n side. That must be 4. The radius is 2n, or 8. That means that one side must be 4 times 2, which is 8. Now, perimeter has to be 8 times 6. 8 times 6 is 48. And I'm now ready to get going because I have my perimeter and my apothem. So area equals 48 times 4 square root 3 over 2. Lots of things, or things can cancel. I see that the 2 and the 4 are a really easy thing to do. Now I'm left with 48 times 2 square root 3, which is equal to, give me a second, 96 root 3. That's my final answer. The next shape we have is an octagon. Octagons have 8 sides, and the angle measurements aren't going to be as easy as they have been on our previous examples. So I'm going to start off by using my angle sum formula. N minus 2 times 180 over N to get what one of those angles would be, because I don't have my apothem to start this problem with. So I plug in 8 times 180 over 8, and this is where your calculator is your best friend. So I want to do, that would be 6. Oh, that's not going to work. I do 8 minus 2 times 180, then I divide it by 8. I end up getting that each angle has 135 degrees. So that means that this angle here would be 135. Now, again, I need the apothem, and the best way to do that is to draw in a right triangle. I know that this little piece is 4 because it has to be half of my side length. I know that this angle has to be half of 135. Well, 135 divided by 2, that gets me 67.5. So this angle is 67.5. I'm going to have to use trigonometry to find my apothem. Okay. I'm looking, based on this angle, I have an opposite and an adjacent angle. So if I remember from SOHCAHTOA, if I need an O and an A, I'm going to use tangent, because tangent of theta equals opposite over adjacent. Well, my theta this time is 67.5. My opposite, that's A. I don't know the apothem, but I do know that the adjacent side must be 4. Now, if I'm going to solve that just for A, I end up 4 times tangent of 67.5 equals A. I'm going to go back to the calculator now. Type it in my calculator, and I get 9.65685. So I'm going to go back over here. A equals 9.656, what would I say? 65685. 65685. Okay, now I need to go through and plug this into my formula for the area. So remember, area equals perimeter times apothem over 2. Well, I know my perimeter has to be, side length is 8, there are 8 sides, it has to be 64. Perimeter is 64. My apothem is that really ugly number, 9.6568, all divided by 2. I'm going to use the numbers stored in my calculator for the apothem when I calculate this. I end up getting 309.019. And my units are meters squared. All right, I am now going to do this problem right here at the Pentagon. I'm going to have to erase this work, but feel free to pause the video and catch up. So my Pentagon has 5 sides. They give me the radius. I don't have a side length or an apothem, so I know I'm going to have to deal with this right triangle business anyway. And in order to do that, I need to know the angle measure of that corner. So I am going to use my angle sum formula, n minus 2 times 180 over n, and I'm going to plug in 5. 5 minus 2 times 180 over 5, which gets me 3 times 180 over 5, which equals 108. So that means each corner of my Pentagon has 108 degrees. And that means that this corner here has 54 degrees. So we know that the radius is 6 feet. I need both the apothem and the side length, so I'm going to start off by looking for the apothem. Okay. Here, 54, the apothem is opposite, 6 feet is the hypotenuse. According to SOHCAHTOA, when I have an O and an H, I need to use sine. So we're going to do the sine of 54 equals O over H. So that's my apothem over 6. So A equals 6 times the sine of 54, which equals, looks like it equals 4.8541. Okay, we've got one part of it. Now I need the other part. I am now going to hunt for half the side length. I'm going to call him X. Now we have an adjacent and hypotenuse, so I'm going to use cosine, AH. So the cosine of 54 equals my adjacent, I don't know, that's my X value. H is 6. So we end up getting X equals 6 times the cosine of 54, which appears to be 3.52671. Now I need to get the whole side length. The side is going to equal X times 2. But you know, while I'm at it, I'm just going to go ahead and get the whole perimeter. We are dealing with a pentagon, so my perimeter is the side length times the number of sides. Well, we have 2x for our side length and 5 sides. I'm going to plug that into my calculator now. When I plug that in, I appear to get 35.2671. So my perimeter is 35.2671. Now I want to get the area. I have everything I need. PA over 2. Perimeter is 35.2671 times my apothem above we got is 4.8541. And I need to divide that product by 2. Again, calculator. When I plug those in, I appear to get 85.5951. What was it? I forgot it already. 5951. I'm going to leave the last example for you to complete on your own. Please take a look at the circles review video if you need help on the second half of the assignment. Thank you.